Hello guys, this is Team Web3. Let's talk about Asia Web3 this week. I know a lot of you guys were in Paris the last couple of days. I had total FOMO to be honest, but you know, a lot of things are happening in Asia, so people have to hold the fort for you guys. So here we go. This week got a lot of interesting news, especially about China. I have so many friends asking me every week about China. Does China has NFT? What's going on in the Metaverse? This and that. So in this week newsletter, you have a very interesting article about Meta. Meta is actually trying to get back into China through a potential partnership with Tencent. They do feel Tencent has been taking a lot of heat and their Metaverse strategy didn't really pan out. In part of this article, they're saying that 300 employees of Tencent that were working on the Metaverse actually were told that they had to find another job. So Tencent Metaverse is not happening. And so Meta, I guess, is kind of jumping on the opportunity to try to close a partnership deal with Tencent to distribute in China their Quest VR headset. So the Quest VR headset, if you've been following this, actually it's kind of been a total flop. Nobody's buying it. And you know, there is not a lot of application on it, but they do want to try to sell it in China. Now, my point of view on this, it's gonna be a total bust. You know, Chinese authorities might get involved. They might not want to get any kind of Meta hardware, even if some of the Quest VR headset, you know, probably made in China, most of it, but they might not want to get software that's made in the US. So I think first, the authorities are not really gonna like it. Second, you also know that China authorities are regulating the amount of hours that people can spend every day playing games. And you know, how does VR time account to that? You know, who knows? There are already a lot of VR headset, of course, in China, and the government is not really tracking that. But we all know that if Meta comes in this market, there's going to be a lot of eyes looking at this. So that's kind of a first story to share about, you know, Tencent Metaverse not really going well. Meta trying to go back into China, feeling the heat overseas with their Horizon Worlds not really panning out. But another China story, which is that one quite successful, is about L'Oreal. So L'Oreal has already been doing things during the Chinese New Year with Tmall in the Metaverse, where people could like venture into a virtual world and right away kind of put things into the basket and then check out and seamlessly receive the products. Now L'Oreal this time for Valentine's Day, they did something very smart. They actually used AI so that people could, you know, discuss with the AI and also answer some questions, so that the AI was actually recommending gift box to the people inside the Tmall Metaverse. And so that was very successful. They had a lot of buzz about it. And I think that also shows how delivery is very important. You know, a lot of people are talking about the Metaverse, but they're not doing anything. And L'Oreal did Chinese New Year, they did Valentine's Day. I definitely know they're going to do something for what we call Wu Erling, which is the 20th of May. In Chinese, it sounds like I love you, Wu Erling, Wu Ai Ni. So that's why it's a big shopping season as well in China in May. But probably there's going to be like more stuff coming up in the next couple of months. So L'Oreal, I think if you guys work for a brand and want to look at what's really successful in China, L'Oreal is definitely best in class. You can follow what they do, either directly go on the Tmall or ask your teams to go there, have a look at what they do, or check some of that article like the one from Jing Daily that I just shared with you in this week newsletter. Another story from Japan, we talked about the Toyota financing internal hackathon focusing on Web3. And that news, I think, was back early in January. And another thing which they did this time, aiming at the customers, they actually released a collection of NFT during the Tokyo Auto Show in January. And people could collect NFT. They kind of had like a scavenger hunt around the auto salon, and then people could collect more NFTs and learn about the products, etc., etc. To be honest, we don't have the data on how many people actually downloaded this or collected their NFTs and went onto these missions. But I think it's a very interesting part of what Web3 can do, especially in this massive event. And I think, you know, the Salon Auto Show coming to Paris soon and other places, we're definitely going to see some kind of scavenger hunts powered by NFT from brands like Toyota or some other brands. So this is a very good case study as well. Well done, Toyota. Last but not least, for those of you who are interested about funding, you know, if you work in a VC or if you have friends working in VC and funds, there is this very interesting report from SPG Global. They gathered kind of all the investment going into AI, AR, VR, Metaverse. So, you know, it's not necessarily Web3 and NFTs, but it does give you a glimpse into where are people investing and where the banks, the VCs are investing into these regions, in which country, what is the split. It's quite interesting. So go into that SPG Global article. You can play with the little onglets there that makes you, you know, split things by country, different categories, and then you will, you know, really learn something about what's going on in our region here in APAC. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube coverage of my weekly newsletter. If you're not subscribed to that newsletter, please go on LinkedIn, subscribe, like, leave a comment, share with your friends. That's it for Asia Web3 this week. Talk to you guys next week.